My dad is also someone who, without a doubt, he probably does have ADHD. With no question. But back then nobody diagnosed anybody with anything. I'm Mike, and this is real life. Is being busy too convenient? We are busy all the time. And even when we're not busy, we're thinking about stuff to make us busy. We're busy at work. We're busy at school. Everyone's busy. Just life in general is busy. And some of that is so real. Responsibilities are real. Deadlines, they're real. But it comes a point when you have to ask yourself fully, am I being busy? And do I really not have time? The facade of busyness shows us that, the busy people have to be the most responsible. The people who are the most busy means that other people want to keep them busy. You don't know what people are telling you. And I was listening to a piece of content. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about the fact of, when you post constantly, people think that you're busy than you really are. And, that's a cool tactic. But y'all, we're really busy on this side. We really do this in real life. This is not the facade of, scheme it, dream it, achieve it kind of stuff. No, we really work hard. We really are about it. As someone with ADHD, it is not self-proclaimed, okay? I know how y'all be self-diagnosing yourself off of TikTok, but but as someone that didn't discover that they had ADHD till adulthood and habits were already formed, I grew up in a household where my dad and my mom stayed busy. My dad would be up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's on the go. And we don't see him again till 5 o'clock at night. And, when you grow up, and my dad is, I would say he always has a fast motor. My dad is also someone who, without a doubt, he probably does have ADHD. With no question. But back then nobody diagnosed anybody with anything. But anyway, I see ADHD. But no, man, as somebody with, undiagnosed ADHD, and now diagnosed as an adult, I've realized within, I would say, the past year, I realized how I kept myself busy. I kept myself busy with things that either were helpful and things that weren't helpful. I thought that being busy meant that the things that you are focusing on, that those are that's what's most important. And I had this how do you say it? I had this either or mentality. I didn't have a both and. Yes, in our past videos we talked about making a decision. Yes. But right now we're talking about something else. I'm talking about your ability to see what's on your plate and realize that the plate has to be, even though the plate is full, you have to clear the plate. You can't just leave the peas and the carrots and then throw it away. No. You have to clean your entire plate. And I know y'all don't like me saying that, but it's true. because a good steward stewards over everything, not just a little bit. And so, yeah, you guys, I mean, I, this past year has been, whew, has definitely been life changing for me. You know, it was a point where, you know, I couldn't focus on one thing. Really, I couldn't focus on one thing, let alone anything. And it wasn't that I didn't want to, it's just that I had an inability. And it got to a point where I was trying to watch every single YouTube video on productivity. You know, how do you do XYZ? Like, I mean, you name it, I was listening to it. And the sad reality is none of it helped. None of it. And it wasn't until I had to come to grips with the fact that there's something that I haven't dealt with. You know, ever since the third grade, I had a third grade teacher that, you know, she went to my parents, very nice. Shout out to Miss Balance. And she told my parents, you know, your son is smart. He is very bright, but he's struggling. And she told them that I had ADHD. And I'll never forget. My mom honestly was like, whatever's gonna help my son, right? But my dad was like, that boy ain't got no ADHD. Like, ain't nothing wrong with him. And, you know, right then and there, he knew that he had to be there in my life, right? So he was super busy, like I said before, and he knew that if he didn't do something with his son, that I was either going to be medicated or something worse. And so, I mean, I would say from that point on, from me being in the third grade on up, my dad was like, man, no, we're going fishing. So we went fishing. You know, my dad took me and we learned golf together. He didn't even know how to golf, but he was like, we just can't, you know, we can't just have you just doing nothing. Because really, as a child, and even now, you know, I'm always thinking. And my wife, she gets on me because she says my eyes are always moving. And they are, right? I don't have shifty eyes. I'm literally always thinking. And so yeah, my dad, I would say, played a pivotal part in getting me to the point from, you know, a child to, you know, going through adolescence to now being an adult. But see, the drop off is this. With all the things that you, dang, this is good. But all the things that you keep sweeping under the rugs, right? Eventually, the rug starts to have a lump in it. Eventually, the rug no longer looks like a rug, but it looks like Mount Rushmore. Like it's a whole mountain because you done swept too much underneath it. I could no longer function. I could no longer function. Deadlines couldn't be met. Promises that I made, I couldn't keep. Relationships, they fell by the wayside. And it's not because I didn't want to be a good friend. It's not because I didn't want the deal. But it's literally because I had this facade. And that facade was that, you know, I'm busy. I'm way too busy. And could it be that in our busyness, the task that we have to do is too hard? It's not that we don't have enough time. But could it be that we're too busy in our minds and that our thinking is cloudy? I truly believe that the moment you clear your mind, that everything else gets a little quieter, that life slows down. Even though you still have the same task, even though life is still doing what life does, I just feel like if you got the junk, if you addressed the junk that's in your mind, then just maybe you can get to a point where busy is no longer convenient. Talk to you guys later. Keep building.